In this short video example, I will show you how to complete the Practica Musica assignment, Building Key Signatures Using Flats. Once you've opened the program, you will need to select the Exploring Theory course, select Chapter 6, Scales and Key Signatures, and then select the activity module, Building Key Signatures, and then click Open. Once the module is open, you will notice the direction at the top tells you to choose either sharp keys or flat keys from the buttons below. I actually found that it worked better to select Building Key Signatures in the top menu bar and then select, in this case, flat signatures. We know that key signatures can only contain flats or sharps. They cannot have both, and so that's why there are two separate assignments for this activity module. In this example, we will be using the flat sign to create the corresponding key signature. And as I do this, I'm going to be using the circle of fifths key signature and scale chart that you either printed or created at the beginning of this week's content module. So as you have that in front, you should be able to complete this activity. Remember that when you put the sharp sign on the treble clef staff, you need to make sure that you get the sharp sign on the correct line or space, and that you put the flat sign on the correct line or space, and that you put the flat sign in the correct order from left to right. So I'm going to click New Question. And for some reason it said that I missed that. Don't panic, just click New Question again. So it says, please build the appropriate key signature for the key of F minor. So looking at my circle of fifths, I need to find F minor, which will be on the left-hand side, and F minor is going to be the inner circle. Once you find F minor, you will see that F minor has four flats: B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. And so the first thing I'll need to do is to select the flat symbol down here below, and then I need to put the flat symbol on the correct line and space. So starting with B flat will be the middle line, E flat is in this top space. I know that E could also be this bottom line, but the music theorists who created the key signatures and the idea of key signatures basically picked the order of flats and where they wanted those flat signs to go on the treble clef staff, and it's become universal. So in this case, we're going to make sure that we put the flat sign for E in the top space for E. So I have B flat, E flat. Now I need to add A flat in the second space, and then finally D flat, which is the fourth line. And you'll notice the pattern here. As I write these flats or put them on the treble clef staff, I start from left and I move over to the right, as if I was writing a sentence. Once I've got the flat signs where I think they should go, I'm going to select Check Answer. And again, before I click this box, I'm probably going to look at my circle of fifths key signature chart to make sure I've done it correctly, so I don't waste time. Once I've checked my answer, then I can select New Question. So now it says, please build the appropriate key signature for the key of F major. So I need to really pay attention, because obviously there's a difference between a major key signature and a minor key signature. Remember, on your circle of fifths chart, major key signatures are always indicated with a capital letter, so in this case capital F. A minor key signature will always be indicated by a lowercase letter. So I find F major and I see there's one flat. The flat would be B flat. And so I click the flat sign and I come up to the treble clef staff and click flat on the third line for B flat, and then select Check Answer. Then select New Question. In this example, I'm going to make mistakes so that I can show you how you would fix it. The directions tell me to build the appropriate key signature for the key of C minor. So I look for the lowercase c, and I find that on the left-hand side of my circle of fifths chart. And for C minor, I have three flats: B flat, E flat, and A flat. So I'm going to select the flat symbol, and I'm going to start with B flat, E flat. Oh, and instead of A flat, I accidentally selected G flat. So to fix that mistake, I'm going to select the arrow sign. I'm going to then select the mistaken flat symbol, And then once I've selected it, I'm going to click delete on my computer keyboard. Now I'll go back and click the flat sign, and I can fix this and make it A flat in this space. Once I've done that, now I'll select check answer, and then to continue with this module, I would select new question. Remember to use your circle of fifths chart. Remember to identify the difference between major key signatures and minor key signatures, and then remember that the flat sign must go on the correct line or space and in the correct order.